Once upon a time in a land not far, there was a car race called Jackocar. His little series thought it would be grand, but everything went wrong, no one took a stand. The drivers were slow, the cars were bad, the fans in the stands were mostly mad. The tracks were a mess, it was such a shame. Everybody knew this was a losing game. Oh, Jackocar, yeah, what a disgrace. A laughing stock in the auto race, but Garrett said, hey, give me 2 years, I'll turn this around, wipe away your tears. Garrett had a plan, oh yes he did. He worked at night, he never hid. Got the best driver's cars tuned to perfection. Suddenly Jackocar was headed in the right direction. The pits were slick, the engines roared. Fans came back, they weren't bored. Garrett turned the series into a star. Now everyone wants to be a part of Jackocar. From zero to hero, what a ride. Garrett's magic couldn't be denied. But now the clock is ticking, can they win? One chance to let the fun begin. So here's to Garrett, the man of the hour. Turn Jackocar, Kiev from sour to power. Let's raise a cheer for one last race. Go win it all, and with grace.
Donald Trump for Dutch Miller Kia, take one.
If you're not impressed with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, then China is beating you. It's ridiculous. I am the best. I only like the best. That's why I choose Kia, because I'm the best and Kia's the best. That's why we choose each other. We've got amazing deals on 2016 Sorrentos. But 2016, what is he shopping in the future?
Take 213.
You're fired. Buy a Kia. Kia is great. Okay?
I think we're all set there, Don.
Okay. Don't touch me again. We're gonna build a wall around all of the Kia dealerships. You wanna be on my team because I'm a winner, and when winners are winning, then other people will win when they're around the winners that are winning. Therefore, we will win. We will.
Get a 2016 Sorrento starting at just $259 a month, only at Dutch Miller Kia.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Jackocar Kia series. My name is Gareth Hall. I am your lead commentator for this one. Unfortunately, Pete Knighton could not be here tonight. He said, and I quote, "I don't give a shit about that stupid fucking tier." But I am being joined by two other of the dumbass sidekicks in my Team Speed stable. Of course, they all follow me as a mere demigod, being the fastest driver in Team Speed. I'm joined by Yuri and by Sullivan. Good evening from Team Speed HQ. Yep. You can introduce yourself. Yeah.
Well, you started last time, Sully, so I imagine you start this time again.
You the reins, but that's okay. We know I like.
I
to
do
finish
fuck all at
second.
the Team Speed anyway. It runs itself.
It does. That is true. We are live here in Kota. Yuri, have you checked the weather?
No, I have not. Oh.
You should check the weather.
Oh. Do I still have that paid for setup by Kibo?
Gareth,
lying around somewhere.
The weather is full wet race.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad that Ben Harrett, who earlier said, I hope for some rain, that's come true, because that's going to be fun. Brilliant. Well, you can see, welcome everyone that's watching along. This is the Jackocar series, the second tier in Jackocar. Of course, the actual competent racing happens on Thursday, although there's not been much of that recently. We are here in Kota in Austin, Texas for the penultimate round of the regular season. One more to go after this. That is at Las Vegas next week, October the 8th, before we do a 6-race post-season playoffs, where we go through the likes of Monza. We've got the Ked Travets Invitational at Zandvoort, Australia, San Marino, Silverstone and Singapore, ending up, of course, in the Championship 5 at the Super Speedway on December 10th. As we've got cars making their way out to the the track for their formation lap here under the at the moment, or warm-up lap, I should say, not formation lap. I'm looking at stats and the side, and I'm reading them rather than actually looking at what's happening on screen. So you can see there's the Jackocar format, still unchanged from last season because I've been too lazy to do so. But points all the way down through 1st through 16th. Playoff points are on the right-hand side of your screen. Down the middle, you can see it's a mandatory 2-stop. How you go one joker per season, where you can elect to take one race per season, where you do only one stop if you want it. And tonight that is Florian. So for those that do not know who Florian is, that is Exlet Mafunky, who's currently in P6 on the timing screens. The drivers will be contesting tonight. There's 17 of them. Most of them are here. The others you can see on screen. And we are, as I said, at Austin, Texas, a 3.42 mile circuit. That's 5.51 kilometers for those that work in stupid miles. 28 laps, as I said, Joker for Florian. Season 4 was the last time we were here. It was Leroy Haslager took pole position, 134.124. He won the race, and it was Yuri that went to take the fastest lap that time, 36.607. Of course, we're expecting those times to be beaten because, of course, it is a different game. And we will take you over to the action where Ben Harrett has just started his lap. Of course, Ben leading the points. That's why he is out first. We've got a reverse qualifying system compared to the Cup Series, where in the Cup Series, the faster driver come out last to, in theory, make it go quicker and quicker and quicker. Here, we're doing the opposite. We're getting the faster drivers out first and seeing if the losers at the back can go out and try and redeem themselves a little bit. So, it's a purple sector 1 for Ben Harrett, and you'd hope that would be the case, but we're following with him as he goes down to the one of the heaviest braking zones before he gets us. And you're going to have to get used to the fact that, unfortunately, our poor Yuri has got a small case of the sniffles, so he's going to be coughing and spluttering in the background throughout the majority of this commentary. Heaviest braking zone of the lap right here, down at the 50, turn it right in, 90-degree left-hander, open up a little bit, straighten up and throw it in. Right-hander, it feels like it goes on forever, and you kind of want to get back onto the outside of the track to pull it back in. Another slightly off camber corner, very easy to get this one wrong, kick the rear end out. And now it is the triple apex right-hander stolen from Turkey by Herman Telker as he decided to make COTA basically an ode to all of his favourite circuits around the world. So you see the elements of Silverstone, you see elements of the Nürburgring, you see elements of Turkey. Ben Harrett up to the line. It's a 32.707 is currently the benchmark time for the likes of Dan Price to try and beat, who's coming down the back straight now. And of course MK Bourne, Mike Kelterborn, who is out on the circuits. And whilst they are Yuri's on his own lap, Sullivan's in the box at the moment. Tell us your thoughts about COTA, boys, because it's a track that we've done here several times. There's been a C5 in the Cup Series previously, so what are we thinking about Austin?
I hate the fact that they don't have the proper layout in this game anymore.
Yep, agreed. I hate this track and game, but also hate the game for that.
I need the short version back.
By proper layout, of course, they're talking about the short version that was included back in 122, 21?
21, I think.
Yeah, something
time we
like
had it.
Yeah, God knows when that was. Where the COTA short version was literally cancer.
Nope, it was great.
Awful short version. If there was ever a track that did not need a short track, it was this one. And if it was whatever the turn that appears after the one that Dan Price is just going through now in the sweeping air sections, where you'd basically just run the risk of getting a penalty every single lap. So it's if there were circuits that needed some short tracks, like we used to have one at Bahrain, but it wasn't the outer rim, it was the inner rim, as Mike is deciding to straight line as many corners as possible. Of course, he invalidated his flyer, so we'll go and check in with Mr. Hasselager. Burning battery down the back straight. He hasn't really got a toe here. There's a car just tantalisingly up in front.
Just too far.
Just a little bit too out of the way, and that's Dan Price navigating his way back to the box as Yuri kicks the rear end out. And much like last week when I was behind the wheel and having to listen to Pete talk all over my lap. Actually, he made me talk all over my lap, which is even harder to do, but Yuri's going to have to listen to me. Now, let's see how he nails the triple right-hander. Kiss the first apex, and then you kind of want to leave the other two alone. Sweep it to the outside, turn in as early as possible, keep as much throttle pedal down as possible, use a little bit of outside curb, turn it in, slightly off camber, very easy to lose the back end as you get on power, up to the line. It's going to be a 33.514, currently third position for Yuri, 0.2 of a second off of Dan.
There's another qualifying session where 8/10 away from fucking Ben. Get him to cup only, man.
It's
The
disgusting,
points are
isn't it?
one on a Sunday.
No, they're also one on a Tuesday afternoon for quali.
Who invited this guy into the Kia series, eh?
Yeah, fucking wanker that is.
I was talking about you. So Jacko on his lap as well.
Wow.
So Jack Ricketts, of course, who is celebrating his 100th race tonight in Jackocar, and doing it at the 100th Kia Series race. So it's not only his 100th race, but it's Kia's 100th race in total, to which about 89 of them have been terrible. Jacko to the line, a 34.751. He will be celebrating his 100th start, probably in around about 12th position. So he's and almost loses it on the exit of turn 1 as well. So your joker for this evening is Florian. And the German driver heading down the back straight now. Going to check because I know Quinn's on a lap. Where are you, Quinn? You're in
Quinn's
the first.
just started.
Just started. So I will stay with Florian. I do have the quali times somewhere. However, I would need to change away from the current view that I've got. And as much as I wouldn't mind that, because that means not watching as much Kia, Yuri's informed me that you can hear every single thing I do with my mouse, so I'm going to try. I have to kind of whisper to my mouse to move things around without anyone hearing the obnoxiously loud clicking that all my mechanical stuff at home.
It's better than his keyboard though, so don't worry.
I can start typing if you'd like. However,
Yeah, do it.
The ground
do it for the bands.
The ground will start moving.
32.9 for Funky goes P2, just for anybody actually interested in qualifying.
No.
Not in
Kia Series,
the
so.
slightest. But Quinn, talk about not being interested. Quinn, now on his lap, of course, Danny, who is running a chrome style livery today, as he
Who also lost 4-1 in the first opening of the EFL Championship in
gosh.
Jacko Ball
Oh,
to Sunderland.
and invalidates the last corner as well.
He's having a torrid time this evening.
And he'll be gone are the days of Wolfsburg and crashing down to earth. Unfortunately, is any other results? Do we have any other results? Because I mean, we'll talk about Jacko Ball because it's far more interesting than.
Scott played Tony, the new addition, and to be fair, it wasn't as bad as he thought. It was only a 5-0 loss for Scott, so could have been worse.
Were you in a party for that, or did we see? I was going to say, I wonder if Tony was going easy on the Gypsy as Shep invalidates his lap as well. So Shep up to the through the penultimate corner, runs a little bit too wide. That's an invalidation. Unfortunately, the man that has actually been running quite well this season, getting up towards the front of this one on multiple occasions, will be starting at the back with the likes of Quinn, MK Bourne as well. So he's on the lap. Another driver that is currently not doing too badly is Bazza, and running his R25 livery, the Fernando Alonso style Renault from the 2005 season, with that sky blue and electric yellow. And with, I imagine, trying to wish that you could put Mild 7 on the side and Elf and various other logos that would have been adorned across the Renault at that phase of their existence. But what can Bazza do? It looks as though it's going to be a 35 flat, and it is. Puts him currently slowest of all runners, just behind Jacko. As we've also got out on circuit, Jake, who is just outside, I believe, of the playoffs. So it's very much the cutoff. I will show you the points when we get to the break between sessions. Oh my god, could you be any louder?
Sure, I can.
Right, but turn yourself up next time.
I
So
will.
just trying to, it's an ego thing for Yuri. He needs to be the focal point of the stream, clearly. As Jake, fastest lap for him is 34.388. So that puts him ahead of Jacko, ahead of Bazza, and still what? 0.8 of a second behind. I don't care anymore. Like I said, it's this stream was ruined the moment I started it. Jake will be starting probably around about the 10th position. Because we've got Jamie Numbers, who I think actually made a first podium last week, and he actually turned up in a race for the first time this season. And what can he do? Well, not going to be going too quickly if you do that around the final corner, but that's cost him a little bit. But a 33.279 puts him in P3. And you're looking at the moment, whilst Ben Harriet, I'm sure, will be happy with another pole position, you've got to be thinking that Florian, on his Joker, currently holding P2, is going to be hoping the likes of Sullivan, who, fuck knows, is this far down in qualifying, genuinely, that's a representation of Sully's season so far. So, I mean, I would say I'm going to let him commentate over his lap, but there's no point because it's going to be absolute garbage anyway. But Sullivan, who...
What, the commentary or the lap?
Well, both, to be fair, who cares? But, I mean, Sullivan, who's coming in as the reigning champion, coming out in this stage of qualifying with only just over 4 minutes left to go, shows just what a fall that he's had. Since, I would say he's going to blame it on the game, but really it's that he's bought this really expensive DD setup and he clearly can't use it properly and needs to donate it to someone that can. So out of the final corner, Sullivan Lewis up to the line. It puts him P3 on the grid.
Yeah, not a great lap, not the best, really poor final sector because I just struggled in that final sector the entire time. Get out of Michael's way before he goes into the back of me, but P3 with a wet start, you know. But yeah, like Gareth said, it's all the Fanatec and I bought the fancy pedals. I shouldn't have bought the fancy pedals.
You only need one of them anyway, especially in Jackocar. So Michael,
we all know the normal pedals from Fanatec are pretty solid anyway. So
he needs to use hand controls. So
like Robert Wickens.
Yeah, like Benny Munger. It gives us the reason to break his legs as well. He owes me money. Michael O'Kake invalidated his lap in the S section. That wasn't a slight on Billy Munger. I actually think he's a class first, but it was more than the fact that I find it quite funny if we could inhibit Sullivan from in any way racing and well, especially on Thursday, getting in the way of my desire of being in the chase. Okay,
yeah, hypocrite.
Well, you know, rules have now been implemented, and I'm not saying that I've been part of that rule process, but I fully back and
You're
support.
also not denying it?
No, I'm not at all. But I fully back Jacko's decision, and the fact that he's not penalised me, even though I've missed last week and this week's races. Fozzie, Dustin Rolco on his lap, and Dustin, who will be making his debut in Jacko Ball tomorrow night, most likely. Hopefully, as we've got, I think that was actually the sound of Sullivan and his partner. I think so. Not quite sure what she's doing, but she's clearly got a mic. Hey,
is he making some weird noises?
As Dustin now heading around the third sector. I haven't got the corners up yet. I will do it. Honestly, it was one thing as I started the stream. I was like, I don't have any of the corners, and they're not named anyway because it's America, so they don't name half their corners around this.
But there's just 4 corners in this circuit anyway because it's American.
That's true. Well, it depends on what series you're racing in as well, because if it's NASCAR, they kind of there's about 2. So Dustin, a 35.430 is slowest of all runners so far. Robin Border, another one that's having an absolutely shite season, to be, well, politically correct, has admitted that he's not having a particularly great season. The back end of that car is as loose as Kieran's mother at the moment because it is not wanting to point in a direction that's forward at all, but holding push to pass around the triple right-hander is a bold move because the extra power is actually going to make you oversteer and understeer in both quantities up to the final corner. Turns in on the curb, that's not going to help, and that's why. But it would have been a semi-decent lap if he hadn't done that, because it was a 33.534, 200 seconds slower than Yuri, which is an indictment on Yuri's lap, because that was absolute garbage from Robin.
Fucking hell. I'm just looking at that. Well, damn, I'm lucky he made so many mistakes, because otherwise...
Right, and so what we get to do now is we get to view Scott. Scott, who's spent 7,500 coins on what is possibly the ugliest livery that F1 have ever done.
Is this really 5,000 coins?
7.5 grand. This
Really?
absolute trash bag of a
Wow.
of a livery. Only Scott and Arnow, I think, are the ones that have used it.
Arnoud as well. Well, he is Belgian after all.
Because
So.
I think you either got this or it might have been if you completed the last season. But I mean that was level 50, and there's no way Scott has got up to level 50 on the podium pass, because it's clearly evident that he never
You don't know
ever
what he
touches
does in
the
his free
game.
time.
Oh, he's certainly not playing the game. No, it's watching little men on bicycles ride around in circles, I think. So. And it's quite literally it's quite literally what he does, because he's decided that he's going to sign up for a league on a Wednesday and not turn up for it because he wants to do so. Scott up to the line. It's the 35-163, puts him.
We're still talking about Scott,
12th.
or
Oh, you know, I could make a sweeping statement about the majority of the drivers here, but there we go. Qualifying over, it is Ben Harrett, the first man out, sets the benchmark and holds it all the way to the flag. 32.707 is pole position, and another playoff point to add to his tally before we go to the first race of the playoffs in a couple of weeks' time in Monza. Of course, Monza, the location of last season's Championship 5.
Yep.
Yep.
ask.
There you go.
Correct.
Yep. So it was as I got my way that way, because the season before it was Yuri got his way and having Spa, and my word was that boring. Because
It was only boring because of the people driving.
any race that I have to watch Waste versus Quinn for a championship win is something that I immediately want to wipe from my memory. But it is Ben Harrett takes pole position, 32.700, 2.5 tenths ahead of the man on his Joker, Florian Mayer. Sullivan in P3 with Jamie Numbers P4. Watch out for him, driving like an absolute menace into turn 1. Dan Price, Yuri, Robin, Jake, Jess and Jacko are your top 10, with Bazza, Scott, Dustin, Mike, and then all the non-invalidation or the invalidations, Quinn, Shep, and I believe the last one was Michael. So 4 of those guys at the back of this one, which in the conditions that we're expecting should be a heap of fun. So there we go. There is heavy. I don't think I've seen heavy rain in a Jackocar race for a long time as well. We've had a heap of intermediates, but when was the last time we saw blue?
Get the flicks on, boys.
Blue.
I can see the sun shine.
Imola maybe for a wet race. Imola.
Question:
Yes.
if you only have 2 sets of tires, and you're forced to do 2 pit stops,
Low.
Oh yeah.
does that mean you have to run a stint on inters?
Well, let's hope for your sake that it dries up a little bit.
There is at the end some
At the end,
potential
maybe,
of that.
but
What I would say, if that's the case, is that it's going to be interesting, because a one stop in these conditions, yes, it's going to be very beneficial, because of course, well, it's all going to be if he can keep it on the track for Florian, but yeah, having the one stop, but it also means that he's got to look after these tyres, especially in the first stint. Any damage in the first stint on those tyres will basically null and void his
it's
Joker.
going to be tricky for him. It's going to be really tricky for him unless it dries up a lot quicker. And I'm just going to throw a cheeky mention out there, because it's one of the few things I'm still part of this season, is the club card shootout. I don't know if you've mentioned it already.
no.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
So
But, go ahead.
Dan Price, the number 1 seed, against number 5 seed of Quinn, and ART Mike, or MK Bourne, versus myself. So they're the 2 to watch out for. It'll probably end up as an MK Bourne versus Dan Price finale, because Quinn likes to bottle things, and he'll probably bottle it into me.
Yes, absolutely. So we've got the table up for you, and that is the current standings in the championship. So you can see advanced into the playoffs already are the 6 of Ben Harrett, Dan Price, Mike Elterborn, Yuri Haselaga, Harry Collier and Florian Mayer, all race winners this season. Jacko, Quinn, Matt Shepherd look pretty much locked in by now. And then the battle is now going to be between Bazza, Jake, and Jamie Numbers. Jess, Sully are a little bit further behind. And then OKK 16 points back. Matt Lester, another one not here again tonight. 18 points back. Must wins tonight for Robin and for Scott. Michel is not here. He has been the focal point of some controversy throughout the day, deciding that he was only going to turn up for the chase, and then getting a -10 to start it by leaving the chat after I threw out a joke that I didn't think Jacko would actually back up, but did. So that was very funny indeed. So that's your standings. This is your formation lap. Jacko's already on the grid waiting. Decided that he didn't need to warm up these tyres. I mean, there is literally no point because there is no warming up dry tyres, let alone wets. However, one thing these guys are going to have to watch out for, and you know what, the fact that these guys are going to have to do a full wet race whilst talking and listening to me is objectively hilarious, is in full wet conditions, the visibility is absolutely fucking zero. So the spray going into the first sector, I'm expecting to see at least 3 cars pointing in the wrong direction by the end of the lap. And I'm going to take a bet that one of them will be Michael, one of them will be Robin, and one of them will be...
Go on, say it.
Oh, God, I do want to say one of you guys, but I think you lot are too much of a you're too much of a fairy to get involved in anything. No, I'm going to say MK Bourne is another one that's has a bit of a penchant for making silly mistakes. But up to the grid slot for the man on pole position.
Who's going to run away with his pad traction.
That is true. Pad traction for a couple of these guys, one of them being Jake, one of them being Ben Harrett. But let's take you to the race. We can't see in the lights. You don't need to see the lights. Fuck the lights. It's 5 lights here in the Kia Series. We're out and underway, and it's a good start from the pole sitter. Florian in P2 tries to go with him. He's got the option of going down the inside. Is he going to go bold, go early, or is he going to look after these tyres? No, he actually backs out a little bit. There's a bit of contact there between himself and Sullivan. Sullivan trying to go around the outside. Will have the inside and takes the position. So tiptoeing around the first part of this lap. And where will we see any mistakes? Because the spray basically on stream makes every single car invisible. So enjoy this race because that's all you're going to see. You're just going to see grey. We don't need to see. There's literally no point anyone doing any liveries because at the moment all you can see is the vague silhouette of a car. Yuri's getting touched up by Dan Price going through the exit of the S's there. Behind we've got Quinn, who's made a very good start up to 8th position already. He's trying to look down the inside of Rage Man, and behind him MK Bourne making up positions. He's just jumped down the inside of Jake as well. So as we go down the back straight, I can't see an absolute thing. So we'll go on board with someone here to make it a little bit more enjoyable for the viewing experience. So we'll go on board with we've got Rage Man as down in front. That was Jamie Numbers looking at Florian, I think. So he's also just losing the back end a little bit there, looking very, very slidey with Yuri on the back of him as well. So these guys all probably running a wet setup or a variation of it. Sullivan goes a little bit wide there. That opens up the gap now to Ben Harrett to a second. And first lap is about to be completed. 1 of 28. Now what I will do is wait for the guys to complete it because there is the first yellow flag and it's for Rage Man. I thought we'd have at least one of the 3 of them. Rage Man's the first one to go around, but first lap being completed. And do tell us, boys, what is it like? What are the conditions like?
It's fucking wet. Slippery, but I'm struggling more under braking than I am actually accelerating out of corners, which is obviously not great. Ben Harry just fucks off into the distance out of corner exits, particularly the lower speed corners, but I'm sort of hoping that we'll catch him because he has had a couple of wobbles, but again so have I. But Yuri, up to P5, how are you getting on?
I'm the opposite, struggling on the traction, fine on the braking. And yeah, I did say the same, by the way, as in fucking wet, but I was muted, so that's unfortunate. I mute myself to save you from the sneezing and coughing and everything.
Oh, who cares about that? You should never mute yourself here. Don't feel like you're being silenced. As Quinn has a slight moment, drops back to 1.1 seconds behind Dan Price. Now behind, there's a bit of a train forming behind Jake, who's not enjoying the best of starts. He gets a little bit of a tap going into turn 11 there from Bazza, and Bazza looks to get the move done. Jake holds onto it for now. The gap at the front extending to 2.4 seconds after 2 laps at the moment. It's that Sullivan both giving us his reaction to the race and also his performance, as Bazza does go down the inside of Jake. Behind, there is cars scattering everywhere trying to get around Jake, as Jake gets tapped trying to go down the inside. A little bit of a half-arsed move there from him. Michael Okeke is on the back of this pack, as Shep, what on earth was that? As he's just gone clattering into about 4 cars, taken off the front wing of who is that? Is unfortunately it's Michael Okeke, as Shep sent it down the inside. Oh, we've got 2 cars off. That is Shep, and that is Rage Man pointing in the wrong direction. That might bring out a VSC. As Rage Man just punts Shep out of the way, as with a little bit of a argy-bargy here between the two of them. We like to see that, as there was clearly a disagreement on circuit, to which they've just punted both each other out of the way. As stay out. There's no point coming in this lap because we've got a heap of drivers without a front wing. So the likes of Michael, Scott, Shep, Sullivan gets a penalty lap 3, which at this rate you'll be getting 9 of them by the end of the race.
This is so fucking difficult to drive. Lap 1 I thought I had decent pace, and now all of a sudden I cannot keep this car in a straight line.
Just speed things, because say.
Quinn and Dan Price. Ooh, as Quinn looks to the inside of Yuri, gives him a lot of room. That's a bit better on exit, just giving him a bit of a tap as Quinn comes back across. Arms up for Quinn as he gets a bit of a tap from Yuri, and looks as though Quinn's straight line speed is a little bit better than Yuri's. Yuri's going to send it back down the inside, the exit or the entry to turn 12, and puts Quinn off line, but still on the black stuff, so no complaints there. As behind him, MK Bourne now joining this party. Expecting to see some pit stops on this lap for guys with no front wing. Of course, you can't get away with it in these conditions. You don't really need as much downforce because you're not doing as high speeds. You're certainly not using as much battery as well, so you can recover that. The gap at the front now, with Jamie Numbers now up to P2, is 2.2 seconds, so down from the 2.7 that was there a few laps ago. And well, Jamie with 1:52.381 is the current fastest lap of the race. Behind, you can see all cars moving around, trying to find place, find some clean air, at least some sort of visibility going into the braking points. As MK Bond locks up the rear tyres, as that's a spin for Scott down in the 3rd sector. Gets it recovered, but around at turn 17, Scott's gone around. Gets it regathered, as Shep also going for a little bit of extracurricular activities off circuit. Jacko looking now at the back of Dustin Rocco. Jacko not having the greatest race so far. Justin, Fozzie and Jake are the two, or the trio that we've got here. Is down the inside. Oh, that's never happened, Dustin, as he looks to go down the inside of Jake. Catches himself out, runs straight into the back of him. Don't think there's any damage, but it opened up the door for Jacko. Jacko was smart enough not to send it, because I think by the looks of it Jake is really struggling, and Dustin is so much quicker at this point and is driving into corners at a much higher speed. Jake's just, unfortunately, it looks as though he's going to lose not only 1, possibly 2 positions here with Jacko, who's actually, well, I've seen quicker horse boxes down the back straight than what Jacko's currently driving. Because he has absolutely no straight line speed. It's all in the corners, it seems, as Jake does get passed there by Fozzie, but then gets back, so they're still holding position. Jacko is still biding his time and waiting, tries to snap across as Dustin once again sends it down the inside of Jake, and Jake doing a very good job at defending his position. This is just holding up Jacko immensely at the moment. to the point where Michael Okeke, as I said, missing half his front wing, is very much on the back of these three. And up at the front, the gap now extends out to 3.4 seconds between Ben Harrett and Jamie Numbers. Florian 3.2 seconds back, Sullivan 2.1 seconds back, and we've got Kia's field spread on lap 5 at the front, with the guys all just disappearing. It's only really Sullivan now who's just been passed by Quinn, or was that last lap?
Passed by Quinn. You can really see who's A on pad and B who's got medium traction on.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. It's funny that all the pad drivers are coming forwards. Jamie is bad as well, right?
Traction. No, he's wheel but medium traction.
Yeah, I'm wheel, but no, never mind.
It's just ridiculously overpowered in the rain. I'm having to keep it in non just to stop the wheel spin.
That is true. Is that one thing that we've... Well, actually, no, you've stayed on medium, haven't you?
I have indeed, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, some of the others, like myself and Sullivan, that did go to no traction. So, I mean, even in intermediate conditions, I find no traction tricky. So in wets, it's going to be a bit of a ball ache. So that is Yuri down the inside of Dan Price as Dan defends the line, holds the outside, which will turn to the inside. He cuts back across Yuri. MK Bourne is kind of just watching these two at the moment, like a man on the other side of a zoo's cage, watching two gorillas throw shit at each other. As you've got Yuri and Dan Price battling over P6. Behind, we've still got that battle now with Jake, who's still holding on to position, still holding P10, but Okeke is actually now past Fozzie and Jacko. So Michael making up 2 positions, and now we know that Michael not only does run no traction and no assists on all of his other gear, but he's also doing it with half a front wing, and he does it from cockpit cam. So as Jacko's going to throw it down the inside of Michael into the final corner. That's not quite close enough. He saw the door open, but Michael, who's on the button, pushed to pass for him, trying to close up to the back of Jake Warrior. And in fact, you can see so much quicker. He goes straight into the back of Jake there, gets away with it. Jake's braking was just so much earlier than Michael's there. And, well, it's lucky that Michael was already missing most of his front wing, because otherwise he would have taken the rest off. But he might have given Jake some rear diffuser damage there. But you can see, unfortunately for Michael, he's all out of shape now. And that's going to be holding up Jacko, who's going to sweep to the outside. That's going to turn to the inside. Michael sees him coming and lets him and Dustin back through as Dustin goes into P12. So a nice little fight, but it's down in 10th position, 10th, 11th, 12th and 13th. Because when I say absolutely nothing is happening from 1st to 7th at the moment, because MK Bourne now 1.3 seconds back from Yuri, who is just about to fall out of the 1 second window to Dan Price. Of course, 1 second window means nothing so far because we don't have DRS enabled in wet races. And that is Dustin down the inside of Jacko as Michael thinks about it but gets off of the throttle. Jacko can hold the inside if he wants. He can throw it down the inside if he wants to try and hold the position. He doesn't quite have the braking power to do so. Dustin now back up into P11. And while this is all happening, as Jacko takes the very tight line, it's one of my favourite moves, but in doing so picks up a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, whilst this is all happening, Jake just driving around on his own, 10th position, and letting these three behind just scrap around for some points. As Jacko looking very, very close to the back of Dustin, he's going to throw it down the inside into the final corner. It's going to be contact. There is contact as behind into the box comes Michael. So it's a first pit stop of the race for one of the Kia drivers, and it is Michael Okeke. So first one of the evening for him. That will be a new front wing and a new set of the extreme wet tyres, which... And I'll see if Yuri can remember this stat, because it's one that I used to give him, as Fozzie out the race. That'll be a safety car. Well, it's a virtual safety car. So that is in the S section. It's not even in the S section. It's the exit of turn 3, really. So
full
just
course now.
So it is. So full course now. So It's not what you can see. Does say VSC. Don't worry. This is one of those bugs that they have in the game that gets pushed down to the bottom because it's not game breaking. It's just bad game design. Because the safety car is now out. It's the yellow dot you can see sitting on the exit of turn 2. So that is very useful if you're Michael Okeke, who's just made that stop just before all of this happened.
Silly.
Yep.
The safety car has moved on, so Clemmy will not repeat itself.
No.
Drive through 10.
Yep, drive-through penalty for Dan Price. Has to serve that under green, cannot serve that under a safety car. Will not let you. So, do we see some stops here? It's very early for anyone thinking about it. But Ben Harrett stays out, Jamie stays out. I would expect to see a majority of these guys stay out. Of course, they do still need to make 2 stops. Quinn's coming in. So, Quinn decides to come in. Does some Rocco. Departs us for the evening after crashing out. I thought it was a good fight, so be interesting to see if that's more contact between himself and Jacko that's initiated that, because it was very early into that section that he's lost the car. But yeah, I'll go back to what I was going to say previously, and I'm going to ask Yuri if he can remember the stat about the extreme wet tyres that I would always harbour.
70 litres.
75 litres. 75 litres of water a second. They will remove whilst in full rotation at 140 miles an hour. So in comparison to the intermediates, which are 35 litres of water per second. So that
sure doesn't feel like 75 at the moment.
No, well, it sure does look like it, because you cannot see any of the cars when you're all together.
Yeah, I was just about to say that when you started talking about it under the formation lab. I think that's the only good thing EA has done so far with this game.
What, increase the spray?
Yeah. Make it a looking outside of the visibility. Thank you. Is still not up to the standards, but apparently, from what you said, on the broadcast view, it looks like just like in real life, where you can't see further down than 2 cars.
Well, no, in real life we wouldn't be racing. They'd be sitting in the pit lane waiting for it to go to intermediates.
Yeah, but, fucking pussies.
So safety car out. We're on lap 8 of 28. We've had some pit stops. I will tell you now who they are, because they are for Quinn, Sullivan, Dan Price, Yuri, MK Bourne, Bazza, Robin, Michael, Jess, and Shep. So just over half of the grid have made a stop. Those who haven't: Ben Harrett, Jamie Numbers, Florian, Jake, Jacko, and Scott. I would imagine that Scott's trying to pit, but he's probably not seen the pit lane entry since he started the race. I think he's probably that far behind. But lap 8 of 28, so we are coming in towards the first third of the race, and it's been alright. We've had some good battles here and there, nothing too spicy, but the first stage went to Ben Harrett. So far he has got pole position and the first stage, as Quinn almost collects the rear end of Florian there going into turn 1. There's no need to be that close, and he's just got a 10-second time penalty for doing so. So there is...
Are you going to put anything on top of that, because you know you were going to penalise contact under the safety car?
Yeah, I was going to. I'll have to review that again, because I was looking at my second screen. I just saw that he went deep into the corner and
very lightly tapped, but did not hit.
Yes, it did. It did
a
look
little bit screwed over.
Yeah, it does look like that's a bit of a not desync, but I don't know what he's doing now, trying to pull up alongside. There's literally no reason to be that close to anyone under the safety car, especially in these conditions.
Was there not like a 2 or 3 car length rule?
Well,
or a second, or whatever the hell it was.
Well, as long as you're not taking the piss with it, like. But at the moment, there's just... I mean, when we're in conditions like this, you do not need to be sitting on someone's gearbox and then pulling up alongside, as he's now doing. So whether or not this is... I imagine we'll get... You brake checked me going into turn 1, which you cannot do under the safety car, because if anyone... I will refuse to allow anyone to claim they've been brake checked under a safety car, because you're all driving around at about 80 miles an hour.
Somebody pull the handbrake.
unless there's a severe deceleration in the middle of a straight, no one should be close to anyone else to the point where you're getting into contact with each other. That's just how racing works. So if you go go-karting, they have a mini sensors on the front trim, the front bumpers of the kart. If that gets set off by you either pushing or colliding or bumping into overtakes, you get disqualified, or at least you get a time penalty. And that should be the case here. If you fuck around, you will find out. Unfortunately for Quinn, it does seem a little bit harsh, but he'll be serving 10 seconds in his next stop. Of course, 2 mandatories for him. Only the 1 for Florian. So Florian still in P3, only 1 stop to make. So this safety car has somewhat helped, but of course he will be needing to nurse these tyres, which is what Ben Harrett and Jamie Numbers will also be trying to do, with the likes of Quinn, Sullivan, Dan and Yuri all behind on fresh rubber. We've not gone to green yet, but tell us, do the new wets feel any better than what you were previously on?
Well, I had 35% rear tyre wear for some reason. So yes, just for the sake of the fact that my rear tyres feel attached again. In terms of actual grip, no. Full stop.
As Dan gets very close to back of you. I don't know why are we driving so close to each other, guys? There is literally no point under the safety car until the safety car comes in. You can just drive around to the point where you're just in a safe location. We don't need to be pulling up alongside each other. We don't need to be not paying attention and just almost getting into a point where you're just pinching someone's rear end. That's left for the sexual offenders, the likes of Jake O'Sullivan, Leroy Hasselager, Kieran Spears.
Can't say that anymore. Can't say that anymore about Jake. He got engaged now, you know.
That's true, but he is a sexual deviant. Jake O'Sullivan is a sexual deviant. Someone please lend help now. There are several people under threat from him. So anyway, back to the race. Lap 10 of 28. It still says we're under the virtual safety car. We are not. It is a full safety car. However, the car at the front is probably going about the same sort of pace as what we were in the race about 3 minutes ago when the safety car came out. We lost Dustin Rocco at the exit of turn 2 into turn 3. Safety car is now in, so it will disappear up the road. We now get the fact that the safety car is in, or is out, and we get the fact that it is going to be really irritatingly flashing in the top left-hand corner of your screen. To which I think it was Owen says they clearly just coded the LED light boards to the timing screen. Not quite sure why they do that, but they are the only things that flash yellow because it's never done this before. But the safety car will disappear in. Ben Harrett now becomes the de facto leader of the pack because previously it was the safety car, so he can now dictate when he wants to go. Basically on the final corner when everyone else is still coming up to it, would be the smartest decision here. You don't really want to go any time before that, so we'll see what he does. He's got Jamie Numbers and Florian for company. They haven't stopped behind. Quinn, Sullivan, Dan and Yuri have. As Ben gets us restarted, final corner, gets on the loud pedal, gets all out of shape on exit, and that's opened up the door for Jamie, who just wasn't quite close enough on the exit the final corner to make anything of it. As Ben was almost sideways going into the or starting off the straight, as that's going to be a corner cut for Jamie into turn 1 as well, cutting the inside of the first corner. As he's struggling with the car, fighting it as he goes in through turn 2 into turn 3, as they're now into the S's. There's a good restart from Jamie Numbers now on the back as we've got a yellow flag out for Scott. He's decided he didn't want to start this lap. He's going to do it with a 5-second head start to get lapped from everyone else. As Jamie Numbers cutting corners, but we'll see if he gets away with it. That's an unnecessarily wide cut on exit there as well for Jamie. As they've broken away a little bit from Florian by 0.6 of a second. Quinn 0.9 back. Now Dan and Yuri have just traded 6th and 7th position and are still side by side as Yuri just snaps in front, as Scott now gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cuts in the S's. So with the restart, we've got cars scattering once again behind. Where's that fighting? We've got 3 cars side by side. That's Jacko, KK and Bazza all over again. As Bazza down the inside, Jacko around the outside. Jacko takes the NASCAR line, which gives him a much nicer turn in to the next corner. Bazza instead just decides to drive into him. Michael O'Kk is trying to try and go around the outside of both of them, and does so. Lovely move there. Is they're now 3 wide into turn 15, and somehow they are all still pointing in the right direction. So lovely double move there from OKK. Bazza, Jacko, and Robin are all fighting over position. Of course, Robin and Shep involved in their own issue earlier on in this one, as Jamie gets to the front of the race and takes the lead on that lap, and the fastest lap on the restart as well. As I was watching the battle for 10th, I managed to miss the lead change, but who cares, as Quinn gets a 3-second time penalty to add to his 10. They will serve in the pit stops, as Dan serves his drive-through penalty that he got for speeding under the safety car. Quinn now 1/10 of a second behind Florian, gets slightly out of shape there, and that's probably just going to light up Sully's eyes a little bit there, but not quite close enough to make any inroads at the moment, as Sullivan rear tyres were 35% when they came in. What are they looking like now?
8%. So still tricky. Still, really, I'm still lighting them up loads. A little bit more consistent now. And
did you lower your tyre pressures?
no,
Oh, why would you not lower your tyre pressures in the rain? Increase surface
because I
area.
didn't think about it. That will make sense as to why I'm so
that's
slimy.
Probably the reason why your tyres are so high is that obviously in the wet you want to have more tyre surface area and not less, so you put less air in them.
Yeah, well.
That makes sense now, Because I'm at 11.
Yeah, well, that would make sense. I mean, who knows? Because they don't run full pressure
Logics?
anyway.
Oh. Logics have got.
But yeah, exactly. But exactly. In this game, you do run full. As Sully, this is gonna be ending up in the wall if you continue to drive like that.
It's every lap. It's every single lap.
Well, it looks fun.
It's not. It's really not. I just cannot stay with these guys ahead.
So these guys ahead, Jamie Numbers, Ben Harrett, Florian and Quinn are your top 4. Sullivan and Yuri are 5 and 6. Then you've got MK Bourne has just got up into this. Florian's just been sent by Quinn. So Quinn now up into P3. Of course, Florian on his Joker will only have to make 1 stop, to which if he does that on this next lap, he can split the race in half. And effectively will have a pit stop on everyone. He's done very nicely indeed, has Florian, to kind of stay within the fight for the lead and have the ability to only need to make 1 more stop. So 1 stop is needed for Quinn, so he could in theory make a stop soon as well, but will so he is on the same sort of strategy as Florian, but does have of course that 10-second time penalty that he'll need to serve. So Sullivan, you are really fighting for the race victory here with the man in front of you, because you're both on the same strategy, and with Quinn sitting with a 10-second time penalty, you'd really say at the moment your net top 3 is Florian, Sullivan and Yuri taking away penalties, as Yuri a little bit further back, he's got MK Bourne, as Michael O'Kk and Rageman are battling away, as Rageman just sends it down the inside and Michael gives him a very wide berth. Allows him to do so and loses a second in doing so, but we'll see what the guys in front do now in this this lap. Do we see them split the race in half and make a stop? Jamie Numbers stays out, Ben Harrett stays out, so they're hedging their bets on I imagine this rain, because it doesn't look as though it's slowing down in intensity. Are they looking at going to the intermediate? So what are we looking at weather-wise, boys?
It has slowed down, like you say. There's a lot less spray. There is a drier line forming. Grip is coming back, but again, tyres are overheating, particularly for me at the rear again. But yeah, Inters is not too far away.
So, Inter's maybe not too far away, which would be interesting because they still need to make 2 stops. So, as Jamie Numbers gets it all wrong and Ben Harrett tries to to recover some lost time and lost ground. And he's almost pushing him around in front of him. He is pushing him around the exit of turn 7 there as in as they go to the entry of turn 11. Ben Harrett down the inside runs Jamie Numbers out of road and takes back the lead of the race. And that was all Jamie, unfortunately, getting it all wrong on the exit of turn 7. And that reopened the ability for Ben to go back down the inside, take the lead back. Quinn with them as well. Of course, he is fighting for the lead as Jamie Numbers gives him a little bit of Jamie gives Ben a little bit of a receipt going into turn 12. That's going to be a crash. Oh, how on earth did he miss him as Ben Harrett got on the breakers to try and slow that one down. Quinn looking at the back of Ben Harrett now. So these three all still racing each other, but it is Quinn that needs to make one stop. It is the other two that need to make 2. So they're looking at going, I imagine, to a set of intermediate tyres and getting a little bit more pace in the end of this race. As Quinn tries to go around the outside, that's not a move that would ever happen, Danny. But what it is Ben Harrett now into the box. So he decides he's going to pit with half the race completed. Now this is the big call here. Is this a stop for the Inters, or is this another set of the wet tyres? We're on board with Mr. Harrett, who is stopping for some green-walled intermediate tyres. So Inters for Ben. Inters have also gone on for Jake, OKK, Jacko, and for Dan Price. So is this the cut-off? Have we heard from anyone? Because there's a yellow flag out now for Scott, who is pointing in the wrong direction, is missing half his front wing, is just about managing to recover. He will be in for a set of intermediates, I'd imagine, as well. MK Bourne, 3-second time penalty for him. Multiple track excursions. Jamie Numbers stays out. We'll see what this undercut on the intermediates looks like for Ben Harrett, who's come out just behind Bazza. Of course, on the new Inters, he's going to be rapid compared to Bazza on the wets, because if the wets aren't in the working window now, Shep gets the 3-second time penalty, then you've got to think, because that is Shep going off track again. So maybe these wets have now pretty much fallen as the drying line has formed, and yeah, Shep absolutely all over the place at the moment. And he's going to open the door for Bazza, and Bazza does not need a second invitation to send it down the inside. And he follows him in, the slipstream goes with him. What does Ben Harrett do? He's kind of watch these two. Will he try and pick up the pieces as the two of them go into turn 12? Bazza down the inside, Shep to the outside. Ben Harrett has to almost come to a full stop there to avoid them, because he's got so much more grip at the moment compared to these two, who are just costing him time that he would have had on the undercut. And these two have possibly caused him to hold position, because he's going to go around the outside. He's managed to get both of them in one. As Shep will drift out wide, but Ben Harrett does get around the outside. Lovely move on those brand new Inters. And what I cannot believe is that Jamie has stayed out for another lap on these wet tyres. He's now just lost the lead to Quinn. Florian equally has stayed out, so he is trying to run these tyres as late into the race as possible to get the intermediates to the end. Michael OKK, 3-second time penalty for him. So it is very interesting for Jamie, Florian, who have still got to make 2 stops. Jamie still got to make 2 stops. Florian only needs to make 1. Everyone else needs to make 1. Ben Harrett has cleared those 2 cars, and he's now 7.6 seconds behind anyone. So free air, nice and clear for him. He can get on with his job of just putting in some laps now in what is conditions that aren't going to help if you do corners like that, which is basically in complete opposite lock for a good second or so, going around the exit of turn 10. But onto the back straight now. We've got Quinn from Jamie, from Florian, as these guys surely have got to be thinking about boxing now. Is Florian thinking that he can't take intermediates to the end of this race? And
I think a lot of drivers will be thinking that pit lane has only just opened for the second stop.
that is true. So lap 20,
5 and 15 with
Yes.
the stages. Ooh, fuck.
it is 5 and 15. No, it's not. It's 7 and 22.
It's wrong on the graphic.
Oh, okay then. My apologies. Oh, it is 5 and 15. Yes. So 5 and 15. So in does come Jamie, and in does come Quinn. So, first stop done for Jamie, and he goes on to intermediates as expected. Florian stays out again, so Florian still, and that's a safety car.
Fuck!
So, do tell us, Yuri.
Well, you've already seen it, I guess.
Yes, I have. You're rolling out of the pit lane on 7-lap-old extreme wet tyres.
Yes.
Why?
Yes, I am indeed. Yes, I am indeed. Like, this could have been nothing more than perfect. Because I just entered the box and everything. But no. Instead, I had to, not look at the tire selection and get another set of... well, not another set, but my first set of
I was
full
going to say,
wet,
not even another set. You've gone back onto the
This is
ones you
great.
didn't want.
This is fucking awesome. I love this game.
As Rageman retires.
Oh, the safety car's glitched. It's going to happen. So
Yeah,
basically
it
what
is.
happens is the safety car sits there, and you'll see it stationary, so it sits on the racing line, and as the leaders will come, the leaders will likely shoot past it and get disqualified. I mean, Rageman's obviously hit the safety car. there,
Rageman
which is
has
slightly
gone.
different.
Rageman
but-
has just driven into the safety car.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is the Sclemmy thing that I said, because we had it in our Wednesday friendly competition, where it just sits on the exit of turn 2, stationary. So you come in, flying, well, doing a relatively fast speed, and you'll just fly by it. And the first 5 or 6 cars will fly by it, get 2 or 3 seconds to let the safety car overtake, but it'll go way too slow for that to happen. So they'll probably get disqualified if they don't pay attention.
Right. What is going to be a big call here is host migrates, which is Jess leaving the session, which is not ideal. So I will hopefully...
It's driving, never mind.
I will hopefully get her back in. Let's see if I can... Right, invite to set to Jess. So, yes, so that is Florian in for a set of intermediates. That's MK Bourne and Sullivan in as well. So,
The guys behind have got a safety car stop, which they are using, so this kind of screws me, who's already used it.
so this is Florian, who is making his one Joker stop. However, it does mean that he's got the likes of Sullivan and MK Bourne now who have completed their strategy.
No, I have not.
Have you not?
I used my safety car stop earlier. Didn't I? I boxed
okay,
onto
you did.
safety
Yes,
car
you
originally.
did. You did. So, has MK Bourne? Because Quinn...
He boxed after me the first time.
Jess has got... You must be signed into the PlayStation Network, so her PSN has completely shit itself.
Oh no.
So
Didn't extend the subscription in time.
yes, so that's
Pay your bills, kids.
that's a router reset. I have resent you an invite, Jess, so if and when you can get that fixed, you can get back in. I've sent it in game rather than to your PSN account. But under the safety car, 18 of 28 completed, so we are almost 2/3 of the way into this one now. It is Florian from Sullivan, from MK Bourne, from Quinn, from Ben Harrett, Jamie Numbers, Yuri, Bazza, Shep, and Jake are your top 10. Jacko, OKK, Dan, Jess, and Scott. Jess, who's out of the session, but is still 1 minute ahead of Scott, who is driving around with... Oh no, he does have that. His end plate was blended in with his front tyre. It was that hard to see, so that's why you shouldn't run black liveries. Yeah, Scott, 45 seconds. So he's actually made up 15 seconds in a couple of corners there. So he's absolutely flying around this circuit. I've sent you an invite in the game. I've sent you an invite in the game. I'll say this again. I've sent you an invite. If you need another one, let me know. I need to. But look in game. I mean, I don't think I can do it elsewhere. But yeah. So safety car, Scott, mate. What on earth are you driving like that for? Yeah. We'll get to Yuri and Sullivan. So you may know a little bit more than I, because I've not been paying attention to safety car stops. Do we know who pitted under safety car? Because at the moment, everyone
First
has.
or this one?
Well, the first one, because at the moment everyone has made or at least 2 stops apart from Florian.
Me, MK Bourne, and Quinn all have to box again, I think. Everybody else has completed their strategy.
All I know is that Make followed me in on the first stop, so...
What it did
He's
do
done a
also
safety car
is
stop.
that Quinn was able to serve his 10-second time penalty and not lose any time at all. He came back
Yeah, you
out
know
in
why?
4th.
Because Ben and Jamie decided to take their second stop as soon as they could, because they still had a safety car stop available.
Yuri,
They
do
stopped-
you have to box again too?
No, I'm done. I should be done.
Well, yeah. But did you get it? Did you catch it just before the safety car was called? back?
Yes, but then I fitted the
Double
wrong
outside.
tires.
Yeah.
Well,
Rookie error.
Ferrari mechanics fitted the wrong tires.
If
I will
you'd
not
like,
be taking any kind of blame for that.
if you'd like an update, Scott has just done a complete lap with everyone in the train, and he has made up 3 seconds.
Good on you, Scott.
So he is towing.
It's the little victories that matter.
Well, yeah, he's towing his invisible caravan behind him. As Jess is typing.
Caravan, that's a full low. Oh, fucking hell. That's a full low loader with a crane on it. At least I hope, because otherwise you're just slow, Scott.
There's a lot of ballast, that car.
I started this race with 3 laps under fuel. I now have 1.1 over.
Yeah, I just checked. I'm +2.
The rain, ladies and gentlemen, the rain.
So Scott now 32 seconds behind the rest of the pack. He is slowly catching up. I would expect the safety car to do one more lap, which will take us to the completion of lap 20 and give us, what, a 9-lap sprint to the flag. So looking at Florian really trying to tiptoe his way around this restart, of course. Leading laps, he's taken a playoff point for doing so in that. Another one to add to his tally. You know, there's only 3 people in the tier that don't have a playoff point this season.
Oh.
I thought it was quite...
Said Michel one of them.
Michel, I believe, is one of them.
He's led. Oh, is he not led?
Or maybe not so.
Right now he doesn't have any playoff points anymore.
Well, he said, yeah.
Well,
no.
yeah, now he's gone on.
But yeah, it's...
Scott?
Scott is 1. I believe, Jake is 1.
Jake is...
And
interesting.
I believe Robin was the other one. As I...
Former race winner. You know, Jake actually won... Oh no, that was Jamie, Splinter Jamie, who won the race that you had a go at
Oh,
earlier.
no, Robin does have one. So, it's Dustin. So Dustin, Jake, and Scott, the only full-time drivers that do not have a playoff point this season. Everyone else has at least one. That includes Michelle, Robin, Matt Lester, Michael OKK, Jess, Sully, Jamie, Matt Shepherd, Bazza, Quinn, Jacko, Harry, Florian, Yuri, Mike, Ben Harrett, and Dan Price. The most being Ben Harrett, who's got 35 before tonight. Of course, he's taken pole position. He'll take most likely most laps led, although there's going to have to be tallied at the end of this one because it's going to be close between himself. Also, Jamie Numbers and Florian will have a heap as well. 35 so far. That will probably turn to about 38 depending on the race result. Mike Kelterborn, 25 playoff points going into the playoffs in 2 weeks' time. 21 for Yuri. And then looking down, you've got 13 for Harry, 12 for Dan, and 9 for Quinn. Sullivan on the lowly 7 playoff points for the reigning champion. Safety car in, as for some reason everyone trying to run into each other all over again, because that was MK Bourne that's just missed the back end of Sully. Behind, everyone slowly filtering into position, getting ready for the restart. There's no point weaving, doesn't make any difference, and you also will find yourself with a time penalty and potentially lose the race. Hey, Casper. So 20 laps will have been completed once Florian gets us restarted here in Austin, Texas, and take us to the final third of this penultimate race of the regular season here in the Kia Series. So around the final corner for Florian. And will he do a Ben Harrett and lose the back end on exit? Very easy to do so. No, it's much nicer a restart. Sonny goes with him. MK Bourne sitting behind, and he's also got Quinn for company. Who's going to send it going into turn 1? Quinn thinks about it. Goes very deep down the inside of MK Bourne. He's going to run him out wide. In fact, gives him just about enough room. But MK Bourne is going to stay on the inside. There's contact between the two of them. Once, twice. Quinn gets the position. Down the inside, Jamie Numbers thinks about it, and so does Ben Harrett, and Ben Harrett gets the position. Jamie Numbers tries to go around the outside, and Mike loses 2 places in 1 corner. Yuri sitting behind Jamie Numbers as Michael gets another 3-second time penalty. As front 2 broken away now by about 0.8 of a second as Jamie goes down the inside of MK Bourne. So Mike not with the greatest restart on this lap, as that's Ben Harrett sending it on Quinn as well. So I'm sure Quinn will be upset with that one. But that's exactly what he did to Mike on the restart. So no complaints could be had. He is on the loud button. Push to pass down the inside. Ben Harrett moves across a little bit to try and block. There's a little bit of lag between the pair of them. Quinn's going to go deep. He's going to go way too deep. That should be a switchback pretty easily. And it is for Ben Harrett. So Quinn overcommitted and went deep into the corner. Jamie Numbers has tried to follow him through, but not quite close enough. What's the restart like, boys?
Much nicer on these inters, I have to say. Funky's got a lot of grip, a lot of pace. So I need to really get ahead to get a playoff point to lead a lap. But as per usual, sliding through the triple right-hander.
You can't turn yet. Oh, it's Quinn and Ben Harrett are trading paint as Quinn. Yeah, I can see that's going to be Quinn making a stupid dive. He's going to lose him off a couple of positions there. Comes back on the circuit. Trading paint as the yellow flag is out for Jake, who has gone around at the final corner and falls all the way down to the back.
Bollocks.
And another safety car is out. And safety car stops are available for a couple of drivers as Jake out of the race. He's left the session on track. So we'll have to see if that's a rage quit or if that's a legitimate fall out of the session for some reason. But yeah, he was spun around and then immediately left. So we'll, I'm sure, no doubt, get found out what happens with there. Just checking the chat to see what anything else anyone else is. So Jess couldn't get back in, unfortunately. Scott drives speed, or Scott speeding under the safety car. It cannot be physically possible because he can't even match the pace of the safety car. So just looking, there's no indication from Robin about the fact that he drove into the back of the safety car. There's nothing from Jake at the moment about needing to get back in, so I will send Jake another invite just in case he was a little bit of a dumbass and decided that he wanted no further part in the race. But I have sent you another invite if you are watching, Jake, and want to come back and continue your race. You are down in 13th position, but everyone else in front of you has got a penalty. In fact, we've got 8 people in the race. 8 out of 14 have got time penalties, including Sullivan, including Jamie Numbers, who picked one up on that lap before the safety car, and Florian, who is currently leading this race on his Joker. Doesn't need to worry about anyone behind him. He's got no penalties and is doing exactly what he needs to do to win this race and take home not only a victory on the season, but also a Joker win. So double the amount of playoff points, an extra 5 playoff points on, and adding his name to what is a relatively short list of drivers who have won on a Joker. Who's won on a Joker? Yuri, you've won on a Joker.
I have.
Sullivan, I don't think you have.
Nope.
No, I have. OKK, 10-second time penalty speeding into the pit lane. Genuinely, I think that OKK speeds into every single pit lane at some point during every race. Like, I'm going to tell him that the pit lane limiter is 10 metres earlier than he thinks it is for every track, because he needs... We're in the wet. You do not need to be speeding into a pit lane under a safety car. It is a ridiculous thing to do, as Jake says his PS5 just switched off. For the best, to be fair, if it's the Kia series. But you do have an invite if you want to get back in, Jake. Lap 23 of 28, another safety car. No one's pitted so far. Shep gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting corners. We're under the fucking safety car. I have seen 3 penalties under the safety car.
You want to see 5?
Oh, why is Ben just overtaken Jamie?
No, Jamie overtook Ben.
And then Quinn's just run into the back of Jamie.
Give him 10, give him 10, give him 10, give him 10, give him 10. Aww.
Yeah, did get a bit of damage, I think, though, if I saw that correctly.
Sully, question. Did it nearly go wrong with the safety car, or...?
No, it was a lot better. It was further forward than just at 2, so Florian was on that quickly. I can't believe I have to pit again, so this is going to be a really rough ending to my race, unless I can sneak a fastest lap.
Good luck. I can tell you that the fastest lap at the moment is currently a 1:48.375 by the race leader.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's been getting drier and drier, so in theory, with a fresh set of boots on at the back, because I have to pit again, remember?
Sounds like soft tyres to me.
Yep.
Well, they're the quickest tyre. Why wouldn't you put them on?
Can't believe we're doing another lap as well, Jesus.
Yeah, another lap. So that's going to take us to the end of lap 24. I am just trying to tell Jake that I've sent him another invite if he wants to get. But you'll all hear my keyboard here. Ready? Oh, as Michael Okeke gets a drive-through penalty for ignoring yellow flags.
Just got into the pit lane too early.
Cannot serve in the safety car. So is it a new front wing?
No, he's serving his 10-second penalty.
Oh yeah, good idea. Yes, serving is 10 seconds. Right. So everyone listen to a mechanical keyboard. 2 seconds. It's like a 1910s typewriter. You need to hear.
Of course, Gareth was alive in 1910.
I was a young boy in 1910.
Shit, really? I thought you were already like a teen by then.
How you know? I was a tweenager, as they call them now.
He's 116 today.
I am.
How could you forget?
See, that makes sense.
And Steam Speed still haven't posted a birthday thing for me.
We post your birthday every year, just
you
like anyone
absolutely didn't. I had to post my own one this year.
Excuse me?
I created a wonderful post, put it out, and then suddenly, about 2 minutes later, it was retweeted by the Team Speed account. Whereas
I doubt that.
Whereas has there been one today for Cal?
Yes.
Has there?
Yeah.
The man that has talked in the Team Speed chat maybe twice in the last 18 months.
Ah, that is rude.
Kind of true.
Twice in the last 15 months.
So 24 will become 20. Yeah, will become the start of 25. So we can safely say that everyone that needs to pit again, one of those being Sullivan, their race is completely fucked.
And Mike, right? Mike.
Yes, I believe Mike is another one as well. It all depends on who made their safety car stops in the early part of the race, and I didn't note that down because I'm far too busy, and that is a job for a scrub, which is why I need Pete here. So Florian will get us restarted for the second time. Still intermediate conditions, so the rain hasn't stopped. Not expecting it to go dry in the last few laps unless we get some sort of absolute global warming level weather event that dries up the race. But Florian, to get us restarted, Sullivan sitting right on his gearbox. He should go right on the exit at the final corners to give himself the best traction compared to everyone else. Michael Okeke, 10-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I don't know how he's done it again. and he's coming in to serve it. I honestly do not get, unless it's because he's... I still don't get it. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, restarted, 25 and 28. Sully trying to hold on to the back end of the car as he wanted to step out, and behind he's got a much better run on Florian, who picks up a time penalty. In fact, Sully gives him a kiss, gives him a second kiss. This is getting very romantic between the pair of them as Sully gets all out of shape, basically pushing him through. Yuri picks up a 3-second time penalty for his trouble. So that's now only Ben Harrett without a time penalty in the top 8. So if I was the likes of Bazza, I would be smiling like a Cheshire cat at the moment, because if he can stay in this battle for the next
Gareth,
sort of...
I'm so sad you missed that move for the lead. So sad. It was such a great dive down the inside.
So you're going to stay out one more lap to lead a lap?
Nailed it. I'm going to try. I've got it on there. Florian's going to now try it again on me.
Lovely. You're almost 3 wide now, so this is going to be tight. This is a man on his Joker versus a man that's basically got nothing to race for now, because he's got to pit and will be trying to lead a lap. But Florian punts him, and I think he might have got green front wing damage there, but it's not enough to have lost an end plate. But there was definitely there was something that came off of the front wing. But Sullivan from Florian, from Ben Harrett, from Jamie Numbers, of course, all of these guys, apart from Ben Harrett, have got time penalties. Will we see anyone coming in as Dan Price gets a time penalty down in 9th position as well? So that now only leaves Ben and Bazza without a penalty. However, Bazza has to make a pit stop. So unfortunately for the Welshman, he will not be finishing on the podium, which was on the cards if he'd made his pit stops earlier. Mike Kelterborn just about holds on to that one on exit of turn 1, and that could have been curtains for himself and for Yuri, who he was pointing in the wrong direction for a while, as Michael Okeke moves up into 11th, but still I imagine has a heap of time penalties. As you say, Ben Harrett is off out of what was P3, so well, he's got no time penalties, so he can recover this. It's how much can he recover, because he's now behind Yuri, who is behind a heap of cars now, because it's going to be a real train that leaves Sully out front, who's surely pissing this lap, I'm guessing.
I kind of think I might have to.
I mean,
it's annoying because my pace on the Inter is phenomenal all of a sudden.
You could wait another lap and just manipulate the race a little bit, depending on what you anyone. There's no one really behind you. He's a little bit too far behind. He's having his little fight with Mike, who's all out of shape, and this is bringing Ben Harrett in.
That's the one person I have to beat, really.
Well, Yuri might do you a solid here, because he's all over the back of Mike. Ben Harrett is equally with him, but Yuri, that's the wrong line, and Ben Harrett's going to smell an inside and outside here, and he's in fact just pushing you around the corner there, as into the box does come Sullivan, as Ben Harrett sends it down the inside into the final corner.
Fastest lap in the pit lane.
How? I mean, obviously you cut the short, but you still have to take a slower line. But yeah, I mean, that's a fastest lap by half a second. So whether or not that will be beaten, I don't think it will, because no one else is going to be on fresh tyres. Penultimate lap of the race. It is Florian from Jamie from Quinn. MK Board now 1.1 seconds back. Yuri, the only thing he can do to help you out in the club card shootout is to yeet the German off the circuit, but I don't think that's happening, because at the moment he's 1.1 seconds back, with Ben Harrett basically investigating what he was eating for lunch last night, because Ben is all over the gearbox of the Dutchman as they go on to the back straight. Lap 28, turn 11, turning to turn 12, a almost mile long straight. Yuri defends once, defends twice. Ben Harrett tries to find one way, or I think he's going to go for the under and over, and it works. Clips Yuri, and I'm sure Yuri's going to send it back in to give him a receipt, and he does. Sends Ben out and gives him a time penalty. Ben's going to send it surely. Oh, that was close. As I don't. Well, there's time penalties now for everyone down to Jake, but there's not really anything that he can do about it. He's far too far off the back for those to come into effect. So we're about to start the last lap. It's Florian on his Joker, holding on with Jamie Griffiths in second. So Jamie Numbers' fastest laps have now just been traded between Jamie, Quinn, MK Bourne, and then Florian, Jamie, and Quinn. It was so Quinn sends it down the inside. Absolutely heavy-handed attempt of an overtake there on Jamie. That's not really the sort of person you want to do it to, Danny, because he will not have any of that. Sweeps across in front of him, and what this might have done, because it looks as though Danny's traction has awoken in this late stages of this one, is that it might have just helped Florian achieve a race win here, but Jamie Numbers not giving up. There's a breakaway front three within a second of each other, so as long as Florian does not get another time penalty, it's looking as though it's going to be potentially a Joker win for the German driver. Onto the backstraight, Ben Harrett goes down the inside. Yuri gets the position done. Yuri's basically driving alongside him. They're almost three wide now with Shep, but back up at the front. Quinn going with Jamie Numbers as they're looking to close in on Florian. If it doesn't look as though it's going to be close enough, down there. That's a massive lunge there from Jamie Numbers. And, well, Florian, he's got the inside line. And Florian drives down. Don't give this position to Quinn, boys, as you're fighting away. Quinn tries to find the inside line. Florian fighting away. He's going to send down the inside. Oh, that's a massive lunge. And what on earth? What the fuck is happening here? Florian gets back to the front of this. Quinn into P2. Then it's Jamie Numbers to P3. It's the last lap. It's a bump and run. You can do all of this is legal. So this is Florian from Quinn. Quinn's going to send down the inside. That's a stupid position. Quinn gets a time penalty. And, well, I'm sure we're going to see a massive lunge here. That's going to be a time penalty. That is ridiculous from Jamie. So that is a win for Florian. And that is warranted. That late penalty for Quinn. Quinn took it on the line. Florian came across in P2. Jamie Numbers is dropped all the way down to P6. Unfortunately, yes. Jamie, that is, well, even for me, that lunge into the last corner was unacceptable. So, yeah, well, it would be enjoyable for you all to watch that one back, but if you drive like a bell end, you'll get treated like a bell end, unfortunately, Jamie. So all three of them, actually, to be fair, Florian drove very fairly on that. Quinn and Jamie Numbers drove like absolute pricks on that last lap. So they'll say it's last lap bump and run, but it was a little bit more than that. We'll see what the stewards have to say. Ben Harrett gets up to P2 after all of that. MK Bourne just finishes behind him, 71 thousandths of a second. Yuri P4. Quinn drops to P5 with that late time penalty. And Jamie. And Jamie says, "What was I doing?" Good fucking question. Who knows? As Florian says, "What the fuck were you two doing?" And it is a valid question. They were both driving like absolute twats. So, enjoyed the last lap of that one. It was I wasn't expecting to get as far as it was. It did just seem that we were just going to lunge it into every corner and just hope the car would disappear. I don't think that's quite a bump and run. It's not. You can't just T-bone everyone into every corner and expect the stewards to let you get away with that one. As Ben was disappointed with Yuri. So what have you done, Mr. Hasselard?
Yeah, I was disappointed with him because I launched it up the inside and I was wheel to wheel and he just turned in on me like I wasn't there. But you know, it's fine. I know how he races, so he can receive the same. It's all fair. It's all fine.
But never mind. The right person won that race. Yeah.
I'm just looking at the safety car stops, and I think there's going to be a disqualification for MK Bourne coming.
I think you might be correct.
Yeah.
I would also check Ben Harrett to see if his second one was made a lap before the second stage or not.
I don't think it was.
I will have to double check, but
get it in Jackocar.
So Jamie Numbers and Quinn have both said they were fighting for the win the last lap, but it was, I think it's slightly different, fighting for the win and literally T-boning cars in front of you into every corner for a lap. But it's Kia. Who the fuck cares anyway? But the right person won that one. Congratulations to Florian. Joker winner. That is a bonus 5 points to his playoff tally as well. So yeah, you can see the Cup Series drivers that have dropped down to Kia a little bit salty that they didn't get their way and bullying the Kia Series drivers. But yep, it's that's Jackocar. But never mind. Congratulations to Florian. Good luck to everyone competing on Thursday. Unfortunately, I won't be there. I've got another wedding, unfortunately. So I'll be cheering on Pete finishing in P10, or Yuri winning the race.
No,
Because we all know I won't be.
No, absolutely not. Not after a performance like that tonight.
Fastest lap in a P8, I will take it. If we get an MK1 disqualification, I'm in the final of the club car shootout. What more can a man want down in 14th place in the standings?
That is true. That is true. You don't want for much. Yuri, before you become just a complete conglomerate of snot and
yes.
give us a wrap up of your race.
It went better than expected after the race. After the wets went into Inter, so that's fine. But yeah, no. Just looking at what you said on lap 15, Ben pitted for his first stop, so Ben's fine.
Okay.
Makes the one you need to look at.
Oh, that's a stewarding decision. I don't care about that.
And I already thought so.
Yeah. So, but yeah, congratulations to Florian. It's him in the winner's circle for this one. It is Ben Harrett and currently Mike, but of course that will go down to Jackocar for the result, which will be posted out by Michael Okeke, most likely later today. As Jacko even says, last lap bumper runs do require an element of finesse, not just sends, which is literally what it was for the final lap. It was, to put it politely, fucking disgusting driving. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed that one. I will be back next Tuesday, most likely, for the final race of the regular season in Las Vegas. If not, do join us on Thursday, of course, for the Cup Series, where they will be taking to Austria for the final race of the regular season before they start the playoffs next week as well. Thank you for Yuri, and thank you to Sullivan for joining us from Driver Comms. Not easy, and especially not in full wet conditions. They will most likely be back full time without having to join me next week. We'll see what Pete does. But for myself, Gareth Hall, thank you very much for joining us. We will see you on Thursday. If not, we'll see you on Tuesday. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all your cool stuff you do on the socials, and have a great week. See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.